Everyone sees the world in their own way, but no one's understanding is ever complete. When someone becomes convinced that their truth is the only truth, they start believing everyone else must be wrong, and that's how conflict begins. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Xin Yuan. Today, I want to share with you a story from the Buddhist teachings. A story about perspective, freedom, and the danger of holding on too tightly to what we believe. One afternoon, the Buddhist chief disciple Putra and Mongalyayana brought an ascetic to see him. His name was Diganaka, and he was actually Shariputra's uncle. Before becoming disciples of the Buddha, both Shariputra and Mongalyayana had many followers of their own and were famous teachers. When Diganaka heard that his nephew had become a follower of the Buddha, he was curious. He wanted to know what exactly the Buddha taught. When he met the Buddha, he asked politely, "What is it that you teach?" "Personally, I dislike all theories and philosophies. I don't believe in any of them." The Buddha smiled and asked, "Then do you believe in your own belief of not believing anything?" Diganaka frowned. "Whether I believe it or not doesn't matter," he said. "Please, don't play word games with me," the Buddha replied calmly. Once a person clings to a certain idea as the absolute truth, he immediately loses his freedom. He starts seeing every other view as false. From such narrowness, disputes and conflicts arise, wasting precious time and even leading to war. Holding tightly to opinions is the greatest barrier to spiritual freedom. Then the Buddha began to tell a story. Once, there was a young widower who deeply loved his little son. One day, the father had to leave home for work, leaving the boy alone. While he was gone, bandits attacked the village, burning everything and taking people away. When the father returned, he found his home in ruins, and nearby lay the burned body of a small child. Believing it was his son, he was heartbroken. He cremated the remains, placed the ashes in a small bag, and carried it with him everywhere he went. Several months later, his real son managed to escape the bandits and come home. Late at night, he knocked on the door. "Father, it's me," he cried, but the father, still clutching the bag of ashes, refused to believe him. Convinced his boy was dead, he thought someone was playing a cruel joke, and never opened the door. Eventually, the child left, and the two were separated forever. The Buddha looked at Diganaka and said softly, "Do you see, my friend? When we hold on too tightly to what we think is true, we might miss the real truth when it finally knocks at our door." Diganaka asked, "But Lord, if people follow your teaching, wouldn't they also become attached to another belief?" The Buddha smiled gently. "What I teach is not a theory or a dogma," he said. "It's not speculation or philosophy. It's a path of direct experience, something you can verify for yourself. Words and thoughts cannot capture ultimate reality. Only personal realization can. My teaching is a method, not the truth itself. Think of it as a finger pointing to the moon. The finger is not the moon. The wise use the finger to see the moon. The foolish stare at the finger and miss the moon entirely. My teaching is like a raft that helps you cross a river. Once you reach the other shore, There's no need to carry the raft on your back. Hearing this, Diganaka bowed deeply and said, "Please, Master, teach me how to be free from suffering." The Buddha replied, "All feelings fall into three types: pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. They arise from the body and mind, and they are all impermanent. Observe them, understand them. Once you see their true nature, you won't be disturbed by their rise or fall. Most of our suffering comes from wrong understanding. When false views are removed, suffering ends. Ignorance, mistaking the impermanent for the eternal, is the root of all pain. Through awareness and insight, we free ourselves from ignorance. True liberation doesn't come from rituals or prayers. It comes from seeing things as they truly are." The disciples listened quietly, their hearts filled with reverence. Shariputra and Moggallana bowed to the Buddha, and Diganaka, deeply moved, knelt before him in gratitude. And that's the story for today. If you found meaning in it, please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成，